Hey there, it's Jordan Cron with Marketing Well, and I'm back with another video blog post to talk about what I said I would in this blog post I put out earlier this week, which was setting up pages targeting specific types of mental health issues along with therapies. So I'm going to use the example of a client that I have worked with just on a Google Ads basis. But when I first had initial talk with her, I was really impressed with the way that she had laid out her service pages. And I want to use her site as an example. So this is Larissa at Inner Growth. She's located in Barrie, Ontario. And again, during our first call to talk about our Google Ads campaigns, I was really impressed with the way that she had laid out a bunch of different service pages. So, in a Google Ads perspective, creating ads for specific mental health issues, we want to drive people to a specific page, talk about that mental health issue. So, in a common example, either anxiety, depression, or couples relationship, marriage counseling, we want to drive people to a specific page there. But from an SEO perspective, setting these up is important as well because you're going to have an opportunity to rank when people are searching for a specific type of therapy or mental health issue that they're suffering with. So in one of my previous blog posts and videos, I talked about optimizing your homepage for broad search terms related to counseling or therapy and then the city you're in. And I said I would come back and do another video and blog post talking about how to get specific with different types of mental health issues. And that's what we're going to get into now. So in the case of Larissa's site, we've got a ton of different pages on her site under her services tab. So I'm not going to go into each one of these, but let's just go through, for an example, couples therapy. So when you go to this page, you can see the first and most important thing, again, when it comes to SEO for therapists, revealed is that her page title is specific to marriage and couples counseling in Barrie, Ontario. Very important. URL structure as well has couples counseling Barrie. You can do couples counseling if you don't want to include your city. If you are going to include your city, just make sure that you switch the way that you structure the URL. So if you do another page for, let's say, anxiety therapy, Barrie, you'd want to have the city first, Barrie, and then anxiety therapy or anxiety counseling. Just don't always use the same template. Try to switch it up. Same thing with your page titles. Make sure you switch up the page titles. So either putting the city first and then the type of therapy, or the type of therapy and then the city. So again, she's got that in her page title and the URL, and then the page itself has mentions, and it's all to do with couples therapy. So this is hyper specific towards people who are looking for couples and marriage therapy. This is ideal, and this is the way that you want to do it. And then again, you want to rinse and repeat and create a pages based on all the issues that you help people with. And in the case of Larissa and her team, she's got a ton of different pages, which you can see here. Really important to get these set up because, again, people are searching for specific types of mental health issues that they're struggling with, and therapy as well. And the other side of this too is the types of therapy that you offer, whether it's CBT, IFS, EMDR. You want to set up pages for those and target people searching for those that are located around you. So I'm going to throw a couple examples out there and kind of get an idea of where to start first. So let's just say if we go to, what are we doing? If we wanted to do couples counseling in Barrie, Ontario, get a look for what the search results are like. So in this case, we've got the Psychology Today, and down the road, I'll get into an article and a blog about why I think Psychology Today is important. But you can see in the results, we've got one other therapist's website that shows up, and then Larissa's, which is great. So when you're doing this search, get an idea of how many other practices have web pages up, and then think about if it's a good idea. And I would actually go about this by setting up pages if there is a lot of competition, because you want to set up these pages right away. And if you really want to target them, you want to get them set up now, and then down the road, start to drive interlinks to those pages, which is something that I talked about in my last video and blog post on the importance of interlinks for search rankings. And that's going to help that page rank highly. So again, I would go after the more competitive words because that means there's a lot of people that are searching. for example, couples counseling, and get a page up and then start to create some blog content around that and driving those interlinks to that page. So again, do some research, search and find out what's out there for the specific type of mental health issues that you work with. In my experience, what's the most common is couples and relationship issues, and then anxiety, depression are up there. Trauma and grief are kind of just a step below those. Those are primarily the main issues that people are dealing with this day and age. But if there's something really specific that you're helping people with, then yeah, put a page up for that. But also do some searching and find out if any other practices that are around you have a page set up for that. But yes, you want to do a little bit of research and find out what's out there right now. In the past, I would talk about putting up pages where there's not a lot of competition, but if there's not a lot of competition, there's not a lot of people searching those, so it might be a bit of wasted energy. So that's why I'm suggesting to go the other way around, which is to focus on keywords and searches where there's a fair bit of competition, because if there's a fair bit of competition, that means there's a lot of people needing this type of help. So this is specific towards types of issues that people are dealing with. Again, it could be relationship stuff. It could be anxiety, depression. But furthermore, what about the types of therapy that you offer? And the most common ones that I've come across so far are CBT, EMDR, as well as IFS. And IFS was one that got on my radar a couple of years ago. I was listening to a podcast, and I actually was like, yeah, I'd like to try IFS. So I did a search for IFS therapy, and I found the Psychology Today, and I think I reached out to a few therapists through Psychology Today, because what I found was there wasn't a whole lot of people doing IFS therapy. And actually, this is wild, because I actually did a consult quickly with Haley last week about, like, hey, if you want to target stuff to do with IFS, get a page set up. So it looks like she had done that. Oh, actually, no, I shouldn't take credit for this. She already had this page set up. I was just telling her to optimize it a little bit better. So actually adding IFS, Internal Family Systems Therapy Victoria. I think her page title just said IFS, or Internal Family Systems Therapy. So in doing that, she's going to capitalize and get a few people, because a lot of people are searching for specific types of therapy. And again, EMDR and CBT are some other ones. But in doing this search, I found that there wasn't a lot of people out there that had a page set up for this, which again is a huge opportunity for someone like yourself if this is something that you offer. So again, thinking about the specific types of mental health issues that you help people with and you see on a daily basis, get a page set up for them, because there's going to be other people that are searching for that type of mental health issue and help with it. And then again, looking at the types of therapy that you offer and getting a page set up for that. And the nice thing about this is that you're adding more content to your website that's targeting keywords. And on my other marketing website, which I started up years ago, I wrote an article talking about how I look at web traffic and your website as basically like a wheel, and a bicycle wheel. And your main page is going to be the main spoke, but you want to create a bunch of spokes and a bunch of opportunities off that to drive traffic to those separate pages. Because again, people are searching really specifically now for help with, again, a mental health issue or a type of therapy. So when you're creating more pages, you're creating more spokes and more opportunities to drive traffic to your website. And as a whole, that just means your website's going to be looked upon in Google's eyes as a trusted source, and it's providing valuable information, and you're putting good content on there. And the last thing I'll say about this is that content, you want to make sure that you at least have 500-600 words on a page. You don't want to just write a quick page with 120 words or 150 words. Make it in depth and look at some of these examples. For example, take a look at Larissa's site and her page and how much content she has on this page. Keys, I think I'll have to do another video specifically with like a layout, but just get an idea that more content is better. So spend the time and put in the effort, because from an SEO perspective, it's free traffic. And if it takes you an hour to 2 hours to create some content for this page, that's going to be so worth it in the long run, because you're going to be getting free traffic to this page eventually. So again, put in some effort on this page. Don't just quickly put up a bunch of pages with very little content on them, and you'll see some results. So again, thank you for tuning in and watching this video. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos, as well as my email newsletter, so you can get updates on this. on my blogs and whenever I come out with tips like this.